He had everything a boy could dream of: a mansion overlooking the city, shiny car for his 16th birthday, and parents who thought money could solve any problem. Everything, except a reason to wake up in the morning. Ethan Reynolds' life was a string of perfect days that somehow felt completely empty. He was living, but he wasn't alive. Then one afternoon, he took a wrong turn near the old bridge on the edge of town. That's when he saw her. Maya. She was standing outside a tiny sewing shop, her hands dusted with fabric lint, her hair tied up in a messy bun. She was humming softly to herself as she worked, completely lost in her own world. She wasn't glamorous or polished, but she was real. The kind of real that stops you in your tracks, the kind that doesn't need a filter to be beautiful. In that single moment, Ethan felt like he was seeing the world in color for the first time. The next day, he drove back down that same street. And the next. And the next. Soon, the sound of his engine became just another part of the neighborhood, and the rhythm of her laughter became the new beat of his heart. When he finally gathered the courage to speak to her, Maya looked at him with eyes that said, "I've seen your type before. Rich, bored, just passing through." But his questions weren't what she expected. He didn't ask about her weekend plans. He asked about her dreams. He didn't just see a girl working in a shop. He saw a daughter caring for a sick mother who still found a way to smile through the pain. He listened to her stories as if they were the most important words ever spoken. Maya worked nights to pay the bills, studied during the day to build a future, and never once asked for sympathy. She didn't have much, but she had a kind of pride that made Ethan question everything he thought he knew about what it meant to be happy. For the first time in his life, he didn't want to impress someone with what he had. He wanted to be someone she deserved. Of course, a love story like theirs was never going to be simple. When Ethan's parents found out, they dismissed it as just a phase. They called Maya a distraction. A girl from the wrong side of town. Even Maya's friends were skeptical, warning her, "Guys like him don't stick around. You're just a detour for him." The pressure was building from all sides, threatening to pull them apart. One night they met under that same old bridge where his world had first shifted. Maya looked him straight in the eye, her voice steady and clear. "If your love for me depends on your money or your parents' approval," she said, "then you need to walk away right now. I have fought way too hard for my dignity to lose it just to satisfy someone's curiosity." Her words hit him harder than any lecture his father had ever given. That night, Ethan went home and faced his parents, not with the anger of a rebellious teenager, but with the quiet conviction of a man who had found his purpose. He told them Maya wasn't a mistake he was making. She was the first truly right thing in his entire life. It wasn't an easy battle. His father stopped speaking to him for months. His friends thought he'd lost his mind. But Ethan stood his ground, because this wasn't about defying his family. It was about respecting the woman he loved. And through it all, Maya never once asked him to choose her. She kept working, kept studying, kept building her own life. She wasn't a damsel in distress waiting to be rescued. She was a queen building her own kingdom, waiting for him to prove he was worthy to rule beside her as an equal. Slowly, very slowly, Ethan's parents began to see what he saw. They saw a young woman who had next to nothing but carried herself with the grace of someone who had everything. They saw how she made their son better, kinder, more grounded, more human. Months later, on a foggy morning, Ethan met her again by the bridge. The air was cool, the world was quiet. He took her hand and whispered, "You taught me what love really is. It's not about comfort or perfection. It's about courage." A slow smile spread across Maya's face, her eyes glistening. "And you," she replied softly, "taught me that not every rich heart is an empty one. They didn't need a grand promise or a fairy tale ending. They just needed each other. Two souls from two different worlds, choosing to build a new one together. Because sometimes the richest love stories don't start in a palace. They start where the world tells you you don't belong." Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.